Okay, I am crashing out and I need somebody to listen to me because I'm tired of bugging my friends with this. So this is going to be a story time about my psycho ex-neighbor who is still torturing me to this day, even though we don't live in the same complex anymore. Okay? So listen, please. Okay, we're going to call her Mary. Okay? So my husband and I moved above Mary in 2021. The first day we moved in, I'm unpacking, putting things away. My husband is at work, and she comes up to my door and she says, "I'm sorry, I know you just moved in, but can you please turn your music down?" Okay, it's like 11 in the morning. I had all the windows open. There was so much beautiful light. Okay, I'm sorry, the sound travels. So I closed the windows and I turned down the music a little bit. Okay, and I was like, a couple weeks go by. We don't hear from Mary at all. She gives me smiles and says hi to my dog. And I was like, okay, so it was just that one instance. Maybe it was a little loud. The apartment had thin walls, whatever. No, that was not it. Then summertime comes, okay? We get an air conditioning unit. It's a standing unit, and every single day, as soon as I would turn it on, she starts banging on the ceiling with her broom. From there, it just escalates. Every time I walk in my apartment, she starts banging on her ceiling with her fucking broom. Every time I'd walk to my kitchen, there was one spot on the floors that would creak. Every time I'd walk on that spot, she'd bang on the ceiling. Every time I'm putting my clothes away and I'm closing my dresser drawers, she bangs on the ceiling. Every time she can hear my radio, she's yelling through the floor, "Shut up! You're so loud! Shut up!" And then it gets worse. Then she resorts to calling the cops on us every single day for almost 2 weeks. Every time I'd wake up and I'd walk to my kitchen to go get water, she's banging on the ceiling. I got woken up at 7 in the morning to cops at my door saying, "Oh, we're getting noise complaints about you." I'm in bed. What do you mean you're getting noise complaints about me? I am in my bed. You woke me up out of my bed. And then they had the audacity to tell me that I need to figure out a way to get along with her. I'm not doing anything. So then I decided I'm done with this. I'm not talking to her anymore. I decided I'm going to get property management involved. So I started recording every time she'd be yelling at us through the floor, every time she's banging on the ceiling, and what we're doing. She's banging on the ceiling, I'm sitting on my couch. She's banging on the ceiling, I'm walking to my fucking kitchen to get water. What am I doing wrong? Then my property management company tells me that she's been complaining about us, but they haven't been telling us because she's done this to the last 3 tenants that lived in my unit. 3 tenants. 3 different people before me that signed that lease that had to deal with this. And they all complained to property management about her. So now I'm saying you need to do something about this. I'm not going to be the one to just sit here and take this. I have all of this video evidence that she's being crazy. You have all of these police reports. I'm not doing anything. So they said, okay, we're going to come to her unit. We're going to listen while you do whatever you're doing. And we're going to hear from her perspective what's going on because maybe it is loud. All right. So they go to her unit. I turn on my air conditioner. My landlord is recording a video to send to me because she was on my side. Okay. She's recording a video to show me what it sounds like. At most, it sounds like a refrigerator humming. Maybe, if that. Okay? That's it. It's not loud at all. She's fucking crazy. So then property management tells me, okay, here's what we're going to do. You buy soundproofing. Buy some soundproofing, put it under the air conditioner, maybe put some blankets under it so the vibration isn't as loud and hopefully it won't bother her as much. Okay. So we spent like a couple $100 buying car soundproofing panels to put under the air conditioner. We put them under our bed in our room. We put them behind picture frames. I was trying to soundproof our apartment to please her. It doesn't work. A couple weeks go by. She's still banging and calling the cops on us. All the time, by the way. They're coming to our door weekly, and I have to explain to them the situation every single time. And every single time, they go, "Oh, okay." And they leave. Okay. So then one night at like 8 p.m., we are on our couch watching TV, and I get a knock at my door. I open the door. It's her. She reeks of alcohol, and she's slurring her words. So I'm like, oh, she's about to flip out on us. I pull out my phone. I start recording her. She is going off about how we're the worst neighbors and how I don't even remember what she said because I blacked it out, but she just spews drunk babble on how we are the worst and she doesn't want us to live there anymore and we need to move if we're going to be so loud and we're not considerate and blah, 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 whatever. And I'm just sitting there recording her like, okay, yeah, Okay, whatever. I'm not doing anything. So then I send that video to my property management and I told them, you need to let us out of our lease or you need to evict her. I'm not dealing with this anymore. I cannot deal with the cops coming to my door weekly because of some psycho. Finally, they agreed. They let us out of the lease. We moved out. We moved into this apartment now, and everything was great for 3 years. 3 years. One day, I noticed a car on our street that looks oddly familiar. It's hers. I'm thinking, oh, what is her car doing here? She must be visiting someone, right? She moved into my new complex. She lives by me again. She lives on the other side of my new complex, so I don't have to live right next to her, but I see her all the time going to do laundry, and every time she walks by me, she goes, what? Who did I piss off in this world that this is my karma? I am a good person, okay? I don't know what I did to deserve this, but she fucking lives next to us now. And ever since she moved in, we've been getting so many more emails from this property management company saying, we need to be considerate of our noise in the complex. We need to be considerate of our neighbors. Please turn your TVs down after 10. It's because of her, right? Like, she has to be complaining about the people that she lives next to now. So now, what do? I want to do something. So I'm thinking, should I pull my property manager, who lives right next to me, aside and show her the videos that I have of her? And be like, is this the girl complaining? Is this her? You shouldn't have let her move in here. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. She saw me today walking up the stairs and she's like, I will fight you. I want to like really inconvenience her. Like, I want to do something that's going to make her life really annoying, but I don't want to do anything illegal. What should I do? I need ideas. Thank you for listening if you made it this far. I will have updates for you because I am going to tell my property manager as soon as I see her.
I'm going to try this for the second time because when I recorded the first time, it was no audio recorded. But now I'm just going to speed it up. This is what happened when the ghost followed me home from New Orleans. When we were leaving New Orleans and we were all in the car, I felt that there was a man with me, and I told everybody in the car there was a man with us, and we all did our own little separate prayers to try to get him to go ahead and stay where he was at, and he couldn't come with us, right? Of course, sometimes it doesn't always work depending on the people that you're around and all that. So I get back to Atlanta. About 3 or 4 days after that, things start moving around in my house, okay? One, I start realizing that there's somebody peeking around corners in here like this. And I would see shit like this. So after seeing that a lot, I started to acknowledge the spirit, like, who are you? What do you want? Get out, you know? And then it started touching stuff in here. So this was me and my girlfriend was going through this where we would be sitting somewhere alone and things start moving around in the house. There was a time where I was sitting over here on this couch, and all the way across the room over here, I saw my shoe slowly lean and fall off of something. There was a different time I was sitting right here on the couch, and you see that bag over there? That bag is hooked onto some clips. It unhooked itself and fell to the floor. Dead silent in here. I'm chilling, sitting on the couch by myself, and I just have to look up and be like, stop touching shit, right? So this was the ongoing thing for about a week and a half in my house. Was like things were moving around. They didn't have no business moving around. And I talked to my girlfriend about it. She had been seeing something walking around in the house. Things had been moving around, and she had felt something poke her. Now, this is when I knew that it was getting serious. I could feel him, and I could see things about him in my mind's eye. I could see what he looked like. I could see about how old he was. I could see what his energy was like. I could see what he was wearing. So I was starting to get a feel and an idea for him and like why he was around. Wasn't a bad guy at all. Kind of like a guy that like died young in his early 20s, and I was just the only light that he could see in that area. So he followed me all the way home. But I was laying in the room, right? I went to go take a nap. My girlfriend told me like, go ahead and take a nap. So I went in the room to take a nap. She was out here in the kitchen where I'm currently at. I'm in the bedroom on the end of the bed taking a nap, right? Laid underneath it like this extra little blanket or whatever, just laying on the end of the bed. I felt her walk into the room, and you know, you can kind of hear the air change or whatever, like when somebody's coming close to you. I felt her and heard her walk into the room, and it felt like she walked into the room, looked at me, noticed I was asleep, and then touched my head and gave me a kiss and walked out. Now, when she walked in, when I heard her walk in the room, I woke up. My eyes was closed, but I woke up. I thought she was going to ask me something. So I woke up and I felt the fingertips touch the back of my head, and I felt my head kind of get this weird little tingle on the inside, and I felt the really, really light. And I turned directly around and the room was empty. So I sat up and I said, oh, okay. Came out here and noticed she was in the kitchen. Told her what happened as soon as it happened, right? So after that, I honestly sat in here one day when he started moving shit around again and fucking with the lights. Like, he was making the lights flicker and stuff. So I told him that he had to leave. But the thing about me is I don't just like banish spirits to go and you know, haunt somebody else. I send you on your way. So I called in my angels and my spirit guides and my ancestors to come in and help this guy move on if he was willing to do so. And he was willing to do so. He just didn't know where to go or how to do it. So we helped him. He moved on. He's gone. My house is clean. That was the spirit I brought with me from New Orleans. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this experience. If you went to New Orleans and brought something back with you, if you're from New Orleans, if you've ever been haunted, if you're a medium, whatever, let me know in the comments.
So I told this story already once on my TikTok, but I think people thought that it was fake because of the way I conveyed it. So I'm going to tell it again in a way that I think people are actually going to take it in for what it is, okay? Because this is a real true story, and it's why you should never make friends at a bar or make friends and fully like put your trust in them, okay? This was like my moment of realization that you cannot trust other women just because they're women. Like, not everybody is a girl's girl. And this is what solidified that for me. So one night I went to this bar by myself because I didn't want to go home. I was in a really abusive relationship with my ex, baby, father. So whatever, I didn't want to go home to get belittled, beaten, and whatever. So I decided to go to the bar by myself. Now, I would have gone with some friends, but I had moved away from my hometown for this motherfucker. So I had no friends. And so I decided that I was just going to go by myself, clear my head, get a couple drinks, and then I would go home. Hopefully he'd be sleeping by then. So I order myself a Paloma. Those are so good. Don't sleep on those. It makes me feel like a rich bitch when I order one of those. Like, hey, can I please get a Paloma? And they look at me like, you know what the fuck that is? Anyways, yeah, so I order a Paloma. And I'm sitting there, I'm drinking it, I'm minding my fucking business. I'm literally not conversing with anybody because I am depressed. I'm thinking about what's gonna happen to me when I go home. When in comes this girl who introduces herself to me as Maggie. And I'm using her real name because I don't even think that was her real name. I think she just gave me a random name, which in hindsight, I should have done the same. So then she asks me what I'm drinking. I tell her what it is, and she orders 2 more and pushes one over to me and, you know, gets one for herself. And then we just have like normal bar small talk. At the time, I thought that she was going to be like one of my friends, you know. I thought she was a safe person. I thought she was cool to hang out with, and that it would be like a good, you know, little dynamic to get me away from this abuse. Come to find out, I was wrong about that. Fast forward, the bar's closing and I'm drunk and I still don't want to go home because at that point, like, I know that guy is still awake. I know that I'm going to go home and he's going to be like, you cheated on me, and then bop, 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 bop. So couldn't do that. Didn't want to do that. And I had nowhere else to go because, like I said, this was a new area for me. I moved away from my friend's family and everything to live in this guy's house with him. So whatever, Maggie could tell that I didn't want to go home. So she invited me to go to what she was going to after she left the bar, which was she was going to go to like a bonfire at her friend Josh's house. Again, using the real name because I don't think these are their real names. So stupidly, I was like, yes, I will go with you because I don't want to go home. The car ride was fine, okay? The car ride was great. I remember jamming. We would have all the windows down. Honestly, I felt like I was riding in the car with my best friend. Like, it was those type of vibes. It was vibes. So then she starts driving down this, like, dirt road, which isn't, I'm thinking, like, okay, this person probably lives on a dirt road. Like, we literally live out in the middle of nowhere, so I'm assuming that she knows where she's going. Okay, everything's fine. Then instead of pulling into like some kind of neighborhood or even like a driveway or anything like that, she pulls into a clearing, turns the car off, and then literally just turns to me. Like, she just turns to face me and she just stares at me. And I'm like, can I help you? Like, so at that point, I just assume that something's wrong with the car. And I'm like, what's wrong? What's going on? Is everything okay? And so calmly, this girl looks at me and she goes, get out of the car. I'm sorry, what? What, to get out of this car? You want me to get out of my seat? And at first I was like, dude, I'm not going outside. It's dark outside. I'm scared of the fucking dark. Hell no. She wasn't having it. She just wanted me to get out of the car. She pulled out this little tiny, like little small pocket knife, like something that like wouldn't even defend off a freaking cat, you know? So I don't really know why I was so scared. I don't want to be stabbed by anything, you know? So I got out of the car, and then she gets out on her side, comes around to my side, stares at me for another like maybe 5 seconds, I don't know. And then she says, I'm gonna give you a 20-second head start, okay? Like literally like, okay? Okay? Girl, what do you mean? I couldn't even believe what I was hearing. What? You have got to be fucking joking with me. You have got to be fucking joking with me right now. This is not happening. So I stand there for another like couple seconds, not really believing what she's saying to me. And then she literally is like, I'm giving you 20 seconds. She said it one more time. She said, I'm giving you 20 seconds. You should probably take the 20 seconds. What? So I start sprinting through these dark ass woods with my boots on. I'm drunk. I'm disoriented. I don't know where I am. I've never been in these woods before. I've never been on this road before. As I'm running, I can hear her running behind me. And she did give me 20 seconds. It was probably like more like 10 seconds at that point, but she gave me a couple seconds to like sprint for my life through these woods. And like as I was running, right, she's behind me. I can see a flashlight, and then I start to see another flashlight, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, okay, what the fuck is this? And like maybe this is her friend. This has to be her fucking friend. This has to be Josh, right? So I'm running for my life. They're following me. Both of them are following me. I don't have my flashlight on. I'm kind of far ahead of them, okay? Like, I can only see their flashlight and barely hear their feet, like, pitter-pattering behind me. So I get to this river, okay? I don't want to cross the river because I know, like, I'm going to get stuck in this river. Like, it's going too fast for me to cross in a timely fashion, so they're not going to get me. So I scope everything out as best as I can in the dark, and right to my left, there's, like, this hollowed-out log. And so I dive in there, like, fucking literally, like, blink into this fucking hollowed out log. Don't know if there's an animal in there. Probably just chilling with the spiders. I don't care. I shit you not. About like maybe 10 seconds after I nosedived into that hollow log, I hear them. I can hear them running right next to the river, like right where I just was, right where I was hiding in the log. So then I hear Maggie say, maybe you should cross the river. We should go across the river. And then the deeper voice, to which I assume was absolutely had to be Josh, he was like, well, okay, maybe you should go check across the river and I'll check on this side of the river and see where she's hiding. She couldn't have gotten very far. I am sweating. I'm holding back tears. I'm trying not to be that girl in the horror movie that like lets out a and then they fucking find her. I'm barely breathing in this hollow log and I don't move for the entire night. And they spent a long time out there looking for me, like in the vicinity, before they started like, you know, going deeper into the woods or wherever it is that they decided to go. I don't know if they gave up looking for me or what, but yeah, I stayed in that log for the whole entire night. Somehow I ended up falling asleep because I remember waking up and seeing like the light of dawn. Like it was barely dawn in the morning. And that was the only time that I sort of felt safe coming out. And even then I was like, what if they like waited? What if they like are sitting out here like hunters, like waiting for me to come? What is going on? Whole time I did have my phone with me, but there's no service out in the woods. There's no service out on the back roads where I live. So I was fucked. I had no way of communicating with anybody, and my fucking phone was like fully charged, dude. That being said, I did have means of calling somebody once I did get to a public road, and I called my brother and he was there. He brings me to the police station and I file my report or whatever, but nothing ever came of it because, like I said, I'm pretty sure she gave me fake ass names. Like, those were not their names. Of course, why would she be giving me their real names if they were going to be hunting me? It's super scary to think that I literally could have died. I almost died. And in a really scary way. Like, that is one of my biggest fears. Like, I want to die peacefully, okay? I don't want to die like that. I barely made it away unscathed. I don't trust people you meet. I know that we're all like, you can never trust a man and you should more frequently be able to trust women, but you can't even trust the women. Girl, she was like my age. time, like, I was around 21, 22, maybe. Not everybody is a girl's girl, and not everybody has good intentions. Like, there are some conniving ass bitches out there. Wonder if they've done that to somebody before, or if I was like gonna be the first one or something like that, and then I got away, and then maybe they did that to somebody else. What the like, is that just like her game? Like, she goes into bars and drinks with people and then invites them out and then goes and hunts them with her friend or boyfriend or husband or whoever the frig that guy was? I have no answers. I only have the story to tell. Moral of the story: don't trust anyone.
Oh my god. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
The story that I'm gonna tell you, honestly, it like creeps the fuck out of me still when I think about it. So growing up, I mean, I didn't really grow up with my grandparents. We would go visit them like when we went to Mexico and stuff and on vacation. And I remember like really spending a lot of time with my mom's mom, but with my dad's mom, we hardly like ever spent time. And I remember my mom always being so cautious, like, be careful what you eat when you go to your grandma's house, don't get everything. But for some reason, my grandma had like a really, really like strong connection with me, I guess. I remember her always telling me like, oh, you look so much like your dad. But she would always kind of single my little sister out, like, oh, but you know, your sister looks like your mom so much. And I remember she would like grab my face and be like, oh, you're so beautiful, you know, you just look just like my son. And so, I mean, me and my sister would joke around about it, like, oh, you're the favorite one, you're the favorite one. But I never really took it like, eh. It was like, whatever. So I used to work in a warehouse when my oldest daughter she was like a year and a half. And I had found out that just recently, like, I remember when I was working, I found out that then I was pregnant with my son. So I remember working a graveyard shift, and I remember not telling anybody because I work with mostly guys. And I'm like, they don't need to know about my business or whatever. And I must have been like a month pregnant. So I remember getting off of work, and I felt so uneasy, you know, like I had a feeling, I don't know, like something bad was gonna happen. And I remember I couldn't sleep. But before I even went to go lay down, I remember like looking at the end of the hallway. Like, I get there, right, and I'm gonna go to my room, but the hallway was so dark. And I remember like I was about to turn on the light, and I stayed looking at the end of the hallway, and I remember seeing this really dark, like a human figure, right? And I got so like tripped the fuck out. I was like, what the fuck is that? And I turn on the light, and there's nothing there. So then I try to go to sleep or whatever, and mind you, I must have slept for like 2 hours. And then I had this sudden urge to like call my mom. So I remember I called my mom, and I was like, hey mom, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm so glad you called. I'm like, what happened? And she's like, your grandma just passed away. And I remember I was like, what the fuck? And I told my mom what had happened, you know, how I had seen that figure at the end of the hallway. And my mom jokingly was like, oh, she probably want to say goodbye to you. You know, she probably, you know, dio su despedida, like said her goodbyes. And it kind of stuck with me, right? So mind you, remember I work graveyard at this warehouse. And so I remember walking into HR office, and I wish I could see this girl. I mean, I wish I could reach out to her, or she could reach out to me if she ever were to see my videos. I remember walking into the HR, and she's like, hey, like try to approach me. She's like, can I tell you something? But I don't want you to feel uncomfortable what I'm going to tell you. And I'm thinking in my head, what the fuck is she going to tell me? You know? And I remember she's like, oh, it like terrifies me when I think about it, because everything that happened after was so fucking scary. I remember her like telling me, you know, it's gonna sound awkward, blah blah. Cut the story short. She's like, somebody walked in with you. And I'm like, the fuck? I walked in by myself, you know? She's like, no. It was an older lady that just passed away. And I remember looking at her like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she's like, starts describing my grandma to me. When she told me this, I felt like my heart dropped, you know? I'm like, how the fuck does she know? And so she tells me that, and then she's like, but she can't rest. Like, she needs to tell you something. And I'm like, tell me what? Like, you can't tell me? You know? And she's like, no, like, your grandma needs to tell you. And I remember I was like, no, like, I don't want her to come to me. Like, how is she gonna come to me in a dream? Like, I was starting to trip. Because, mind you, when my grandma passed away, the way I remember her, like, no, I was so terrified, honestly, when she passed away. Like, I didn't want her to come back to me like that. She was very old already when she passed away, but her skin was so fragile. Like, if you picked her up, like, literally her skin would rip wherever she was, like, picked up from. So she's like, she's gonna come to you, blah, blah. And I'm, like, telling her, like, no, like, pleading, like, no, I don't want her to come to me. Like, I sound like a crazy person. And so she's like, but when she's not coming to you right now, you know? And she's like, when you have your son. When she told me that, I was already tripping, you know? This just like threw me overboard, right? And so she's like, yeah, when you have your son. I hadn't told anybody I was pregnant, let alone I didn't even know what I was having. So I remember every night, like, praying to God, like, please don't let her come to me. Please, I'm terrified of her. Like, I don't want her to come. God, like, I would pray for her every night. Like, I was literally terrified of her. And the day comes where I have my son, right? So I'm continuing to pray every night for her, like, lighting candles for her. And I'm like, please don't come. Please don't ever come. I don't care what you did. Like, I don't want to know what you have to tell me. Like, why are you choosing me? Like, choose somebody else. Like, and I remember telling the same girl that told me that, and I'm like, can she choose somebody else? Like, and she's like, no, because she knows you're strong and you're going to be able to handle what she's going to tell you. And that stuck in my head, and I remember just, like, losing it, to be honest. And I don't know, I felt, like, so uncomfortable my whole pregnancy because I just was waiting for her to arrive. So I ended up having my son, and at that time my daughter had her own room, but she would sleep in a little toddler bed in my room. So the toddler bed was right next to my bed, and I remember, like, breastfeeding my son. Tell me why. This is when I think about it, it's so terrifying, to be honest. Like, I really hope she doesn't ever come back, because my daughter's sitting in her toddler bed, and she kind of, like, sits up, and she's, like, not fully awake, right? So she's sitting up, and her eyes, they're, like, not open, but she's, like, I don't know if she's trying to open them or rolling back, but I'm tripping the fuck out. I see her sit up, and then she's like, Kukui, kukui. Bitch. Kukui? You know, I'm like, kukui, and I'm, like, calling her name, like, wake up, wake up. But let me give you a little background. When my daughter, when I was changing my daughter's diaper, right, we had a picture of my grandma in a spare room at my mom's house. And I remember how she, like, looked up at the picture, and she was like, kukui, kukui, pointing at my grandma's picture. And I'm like, kukui? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, kukui is, like, something scary, right, in Spanish. And I'm like, telling, like, my mom, come here, look what she's saying. And mom's like, what the fuck? Like, why would she say that? So when my daughter sat up in the bed and she was saying that, in my heart, I knew it was my grandma. And I was like, I can't do anything for you, you know, like, I'm not the person. But it made me so angry to think that she was, like, going after my daughter. So I, like, start cussing a storm, you know, and, like, get the fuck out of my fucking room, blah, blah. Like, my mom has always told me, like, if you see something, a spirit, like, you're supposed to curse it, right? Curse at it, and supposedly it leaves. I don't know if it's true, but it worked. Like, when I said that, like, I remember as I was saying it, I could see my daughter's eyes, like, her whole, like, her eyes, her head, everything started turning, like, to the side. Oh my god, it's so fucking scary when I think about it. It started, like, turning and turning, like, as if it's like watching this thing walk out of the room. I literally fucking died in that second. And I'm like, I start tripping the fuck out, you know? And I'm like, you know, calling my daughter's name. I'm like, wake up, you know, wake up. Mind you, she's like 2 now. And I'm like literally so pissed off. And, like, I start crying, and I'm, like, holding my daughter, and I'm, like, holding my son, you know? And I'm like, why would you come? I was more pissed off at that. I'm like, why would you come and scare my daughter? Or, like, I felt like she was being selfish, even though it was, like, her afterlife. Because after my grandma passed, like, a lot of things surfaced about things that she did, like, while she was alive. Like, that she was to, like, black magic, and she did a lot of things to be blessed she shouldn't have done. You know, my mom being one of them. So, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking, like, dude, she fucking did something really bad, and she wants me to go, you know, take care of it for her. Like, no. After that, I had one more encounter happen, but when that happened, I would start dreaming of her, but I never would see her face, you know? Like, my dreams were always, I knew it was her, because that same scary feeling that I got when I felt that thing come into that room that night, I would wake up literally screaming, terrified from these nightmares I would have of her. Yeah, they're not even dreams, they were nightmares. Where she would just be sitting in this black room. Not black, she would be all black. This dark room. And she would kind of cackle, like laughing at me. And when I would wake up, I would be so fucking terrified. You know, I'm like, I know, I'm sorry, I know it was my grandma, but whatever she did, I know it must have been something really bad. But I asked God for her to never come to me. Like, I prayed so much, I pray for her soul. But it's just when I have those dreams of her, and I haven't, like, honestly, I would have them so, like, one after another. But now it's been like, probably like, it's been like a year that I haven't dreamed of her. And, like, honestly, before I go to sleep, I always, like, try to pray and, like, pray that nothing ever comes, you know? Or nothing ever, I think it's a cricket. Or nothing ever, like, or she just doesn't ever come back or try to haunt us, to be honest. Because I have a feeling that whatever she needed to tell me was something really bad. And I know that girl had told me that I would be able to withstand what she was going to tell me. But something tells me it was just terrifying. Like I said, I would love to find that girl, you know, that used to work in HR. And just, like, I have so many questions for her. But yeah, that was one of my experiences with the ghost. I mean, I've had plenty of experiences, but this one is one that literally traumatized me. And within the years, as my daughter got older, like, I learned that she too would see things, you know, or she would feel things. Like, when I dream of her, when I dream of my grandma, when I dream of her, my daughter dreams of her. And my daughter's so terrified, and, you know, my daughter will wake up and she'll be like, Mom, like, she's so scary, like, the way she comes in my dream. But I think I get afraid sometimes, thinking, like, if she didn't get through to me, will she try to get through to my daughter?
82% of CIA agents are men, which is crazy to me, because one time I used a guy's public Venmo transaction history and his Twitter likes to figure out that he was also seeing a girl across the country. And I just don't believe a man could do that.
If you think your dating life is bad, let me tell you a story. Okay, let me tell you a story. See that back there? That's a suitcase. On Monday, I drove 3.5 hours to go visit a guy because he's in the army and he just never could come visit me. Whatever. So I drive out there to go spend time with him and be close that I can see him every day for 5 days. I come over, he makes me dinner the first night, burnt the dinner to a crisp. Nothing against it, most men can't cook. Not surprised. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make dinner tomorrow night. So tomorrow, the next day, I just go drive around and I go grocery shopping and I get like $30 worth of groceries to make like a chicken garlic parm dinner. I go back to his place for 2 hours. I am cooking so that the house smells good when he gets home and that he has something hot and ready to eat when he gets home. So I make this dinner, I prepare it in the oven. He doesn't want to eat when he gets home right away, which, like, whatever. He's like, I'm gonna go work out and then I'm gonna eat. And I was like, cool. So he goes and works out, he comes out and we eat dinner. Does not say thank you for cooking the food. He does not say thank you for buying the food. And he doesn't even really compliment. He was just like, at the end, it was like, oh, it was good. That was it. And so then I do the dishes and I clean up. He kind of piddles in there a little bit and like dries and puts away the dishes. And I was like, okay, well, maybe he had a long day at work. You know what? I have no idea. He's in the army. Who knows? Who knows what kind of day he had? So I was like, okay, I'll try again tomorrow. So the next day I go out and I get more groceries. I buy the groceries. I go back and I make dinner. He comes home a little early and he goes straight to his bedroom. Straight to his bedroom. And I'm like, okay. So I wait an hour and a half and I'm like, well, he's still not out here, so I'm gonna make dinner and eat because I'm hungry. And it's like 6:30 at the time, and I was like, okay, I'm making dinner. So I make a quesadilla for me
I make extra and put it in the microwave for him. He comes out like 45 minutes later after I finish eating. I've already washed my dish and put it away, and I'm just sitting on the couch talking to a friend. He literally, I was like, hey, dinner, I made dinner, it's in the microwave for you. And he was like, cool. Goes in, grabs it, literally walks right back to his bedroom. Right back to his bedroom and sits in there and eats the quesadillas that I made by himself. And I know I'm really worked up about it because right now it is 10:30 at night and I am going home a day early because I'm not doing this. I'm going to be home at 1 a.m. I don't care. So he comes back out and I was like, so what'd you think of it? And he was like, it was good. Tasted like an actual quesadilla. It tasted like an actual quesadilla because it was an actual quesadilla, okay? It was an actual quesadilla. I was like, okay, whatever. It's fine. I'm not making dinner tomorrow night. I'm just not doing it. I'm not spending more money on this ungrateful man. So he comes back from work and he's like, hey, what you been doing? You just been chilling today? I'm like, yep, just been chilling. Calling people back home, they're checking in on me, whatever. And he was like, okay, I didn't know if you made dinner or anything. I'm like, I made dinner. No, I did not. So I was like, do you want to watch a movie tonight? And he was like, well, I think I'm going to just work out and make some dinner. And I was like, okay, cool. So he works out, he burns something in the kitchen for dinner. And I'm literally like waiting to see if he's done and we can watch a movie. Goes back to his bedroom like a troll, like a hermit. And so I go and I sit on the couch and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch a movie. So I walk out there to go sit on the couch and select a movie. And I hear this man in his bedroom talking to another woman. And I literally have the receipts on this, but he's literally in his bedroom playing a game, talking to another woman. And like the first night that I came over, he was like, I'm going to go back and play my game. And I'm like, I wonder if he's just been talking to this chick the whole time. So I was like, I was on the phone with my friend. I said, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm going to just make up some crappy story and I'm leaving. So I packed up all my stuff. I put it by the door and I knocked on his door and I hear him, oh, hold on a second. Somebody's knocking at my door. I'm going to hang up and I'll call you back. I'm like, that somebody's me, that person that drove 3.5 hours and took time off work where she could have been earning money to spend time with you. Yeah, that's that someone. So he opens the door and I'm like, hey, my mom's having a medical emergency. She's in the ER. I gotta go home. Total lie. Super fabricated. I mean, I really should have just told him straight up that I think you're boring. I think you have no manners. And why are you talking to another girl in your bedroom? Like, while one is sitting on the couch, literally in your own home. So yeah, I am currently driving home. I am set to arrive at around 1:30 a.m. back in Mississippi. I'm so sick of dating. I'm so sick of dating because I don't know what it is about me, but I just attract the douchiest men, like the douchiest men. And this is terrible. At least I have enough self-worth, I think, to leave. I'm not going to stick around, but like at the same time, why does this keep happening? What did I do? What did I do wrong? I was never messy. I cleaned his house while he was at work. I swept the floors. I cleaned the kitchen. I cleaned the plastic he burnt off his stove the night before. I cleaned his bathroom. Like, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, I might be doing too much, honestly. I might be doing too much. It's not that I'm not doing enough. But like, I'm a traditional kind of gal. Like, you open the door for me. You carry my bags. Like, you say thank you if I cook for you. You should want to spend time with me. Otherwise, I don't know why we're even considering dating. Like, this is just, it's bad. It's bad. Anyways, that's my rant. So if you think your dating life sucks, mine's probably worse. It's not that bad because I always get out of it, but like, this keeps happening. And this one is the worst because I actually drove here. He would not even come to visit me. He would not come to visit me first. And I drove here. I spent my gas. I spent my money on groceries. I spent my time cooking and cleaning. And yeah, this is what it has amounted to. So I blocked him, so he's hopefully not going to see this video. But if he does, dude, you got to step up your game because you suck. You are boring. We're so boring. And you need some serious manners, and I don't think you're ready to date because I don't think you know how to treat a woman, or you're just a player and a cheater. So, yeah, I'm disgusted with dating. So the next guy that takes me on a date better impress me, or I might be
an old hag that lives by herself with her farm animals. I'm just like, ah! I was literally shaking when I knocked on his door and I was picking up my bag sleeve because I was like so upset. I was like, this is bad. This is bad. So yeah, that is my fun story. I wish it was fake, but I don't even think I have the creative juices to create something like that in my head. But yeah, dating sucks.
I like to play a little game at home called Refrigerator Jenga, where I try to remove something from the very back without moving any of the items cluttered in front of it. And it's fun because if I win, I get my item and I feel proud of myself. And if I lose, I spend 40 minutes cleaning up marinara and broken glass off the floor.
Hey y'all, so I just got back from my trip from Mexico. I do look a little crazy, y'all. It's the next day and I just got back to Philly. But I'm here to basically tell y'all my experience in Tulum and tell y'all do not ever go. Don't go to Mexico, y'all. It's so dangerous. It's unsafe. Don't go. Take my experience and learn from it. So our B&B was nice, y'all. This is some pictures of it. Just really beautiful overall, not gonna lie. So the reason why I stayed in a B&B and not a resort is because it was supposed to be 8 of us on the trip, but only 7 of us ended up coming, whatever, cool. But either way, I did enjoy the B&B experience, and I am glad because maybe that helped us experience less injustice. Now, it might be different for other people, but I enjoyed my Airbnb and the services rendered. Now, when we first got to Mexico, the first issue that we encountered was the rental. If you know, they make you bid for business. They all be trying to, oh, come with me, come with me. I give you discount, I give you best deal. So at first, y'all, we went to Enterprise to bid for business. They told us that they were going to give us a 8-passenger truck, and they were going to give it for $600, $500, which is literally not bad at all. But where they get you at is that once you leave the airport, you cannot come back in, which is the strangest thing that I've ever heard. Think about it. In your city, when you leave the airport, do they not let you come back in? Why? So whatever rental place you pick, they have shuttle buses to take you to where the cars is at, and you cannot get back into the airport through certain ways. Like, you literally have to go around the entire airport to get into certain ways. And where the rental cars is at, you cannot get back into the exact place where all the rental car places are bidding for your business. So we gets there, and for one, they did not give us the right truck. They literally scammed us, and they literally played that role like they were going to give us an 8-passenger. At first, they tried to give us a 5-passenger truck. Then the 8-passenger truck that they gave us, the truck was literally so small that 8 suitcases weren't going to fit at all. And at that point, it was like, we might as well just take it because we tried to get excursions done the first day, but that was stopping us up. The whole rental process, it was just too much. Whole time, y'all, then they try to get us to say they don't take they don't take debit cards. They need a credit card for their down deposit. So we had to go back to the airport, and we had to wait for somebody from a different rental company to come outside where the taxis and stuff is, and we had to talk to them. So we ended up going with Hertz. They gave us another bullshit car. Literally, the car speakers and the music was like staticky. It was just bullshit. It was literally bullshit. And they don't even let you try out the car before you buy it. They literally just make you buy the car. Then they pull up in the car and just give it to you. That's it. That's all. But at that point, y'all, like I said, not only were we in desperate measures, but we needed a car to get around. So it was just like, we just want to take what we got to take. Then our friends are literally looking for us, y'all. They're not letting them get to Terminal 3. They're in Terminal 4, y'all. They're literally right across. They could literally see us from the windows outside of their terminal. And they would not let them come out the terminal. So they literally had to wait and, sorry to say it, but run out to get to us because they would not let them out. They kept telling them, yeah, you can only get out if you're taking a taxi or if you're renting. Like, everything with them is money. Money, 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 money. Let's try to see how we could get this money. Other than that, the rest of the trip went smooth. I had a lot of fun. Nice restaurants, you know. A couple other restaurants was crappy that we tried. It was just one restaurant that was terrible. It's called La Taquera. Really terrible, really nasty. Do not recommend. But other than that, though, everything else was good. Cool. So the last day, we agreed to go to the airport at 6 o'clock in the morning just because we did not know the check-in process with check bags. We're in a different country. We're just trying to make sure that we get there on time at the right time. Lo and behold, our Airbnb is in the jungle, like in the forest, so it's no roads. Tulum is not fully built. If you know, you know. So they only have main roads, no service, and like where the Airbnbs and stays be at, because it just be dirt, rocks, mud. It's no roads, no streets, no nothing. Just paved roads with, I guess, mud, dirt, rocks, tree branches, all types of stuff that you will find in a jungle or a place like that. Cool, we're riding. Of course, our tire pops. pops. So my boyfriend gets down, he tries to fix the tire, and he got everything right perfectly. The rental car gave us these corny tools to fix a tire, so that was already taking up a lot of time, literally. It was just so much going on, y'all. That's when we finally get done with the whole tire situation, y'all. It was just so much. And we get to go ride back to the airport. We're like, okay, we can still make it, y'all. We had like an hour or two left. We can still make it at this point. Come on, let's just have high energy. We're not even at this point worried about missing our flight because we're looking at the GPS and the time is saying that we're going to make it before our flight. Of course, another problem comes. They stop us at a checkpoint where like these cops are at with the AK-47. You might as well say the cartel. Call it spade to spade. They stop us, y'all. They let all the cars pass. And of course, they stop us and pull us over. It's a checkpoint. It's like a toll, but people are standing there with guns, basically telling you if you could go or if, like, you have to get pulled over to get an inspection. So they're inspecting our car and saying that we're breaking laws because we don't have a seatbelt on, which is respectable. But then they're saying we're breaking laws because we're lapping it up because the suitcases are taking up so much room in the back that we had to put one of the rows down in the seats and, like, had to sit on each other's lap. So they tell my mom, get out the car after asking for the registrations, the license, y'all. She's doing everything that they're asking. They tell her to step out the car. At this point, everybody's heart is beating because y'all got these big guns. The man is clutching on the trigger. What are y'all going to do to my mom? Like, it was such a scary experience. And it was just uncomfortable. Then y'all barely speaking English. Y'all just, like, it's just weird. Like, y'all just picking at this point. So she tells my mom, yeah, pay $400 or you go to jail. Why would somebody want to go to jail? And that's messed up because what if somebody don't have $400 and you're not supposed to do that? That's like a cop pulling you over and say, yeah, pay $400 or you go to jail. What? So they tell her, yeah, pay $400 or you go to jail. They're going to say, yeah, as a matter of fact, I'll do you a favor and give you a 50% off discount. What? What are y'all talking about? So then my mom like, okay, I don't have cash. Like, I don't carry card. We don't take card. Yeah, y'all don't because y'all know that those transactions are going to show. And that's illegal. You're not supposed to do that. So then they like, yeah, go over there, get the money and come back by yourself. They told my mom to come back by herself. What? Like, what is wrong with these people, y'all? And then they took my mom ID basically as a way to tell her, like, yeah, you have no other choice but to come back. We have your information. We have your ID. So my mom goes to get the money, and she walks back by herself, and my heart is literally beating, y'all. I get out of the car, and me and my boyfriend, we watching my mom from a distance, because at this point, like, we're panicking. People in the car is literally mad that they're about to miss their flight, and all I'm worried about, truthfully, is the fact that something could happen to my mom. Simple. Like, this man is walking over with an AK-47, clutching his gun. It's just too much. Like, I've never been in a situation like this before. So they ain't gonna tell my mom, put it down, put your hand down. Basically saying, put your hand down so nobody see what's going on. Give me the money down low so nobody knows what's going on. And as he tells my mom to put her hand down, like, he pointing the gun, like, basically, like, directing the gun to put her hands down. Like, that's saying, yeah, no other checkpoints will stop you because you already paid. Lo and behold, we get stopped by another checkpoint. Like, at this point, I'm literally irritated. I'm literally so irritated. Like, I'm irked. Then we get to the airport. We're rushing. They gave us injustice. We had to book a whole nother flight, y'all. We had to stay at the airport. We're at Starbucks. Starbucks closed at 9 o'clock in the airport. 10 o'clock p.m. in the airport. And then they had the audacity to say that their airport closes at 9 p.m. I never heard of an airport closing. I thought all airports was 24/7. And it was other people, y'all, that was going through the same thing. They were kicking them out the airports. Literally, basically saying, like, they don't have a hotel, no car, no rental. Because at that point, you already returned your car. You already checked out your hotel, checked out your Airbnb. You just have to sleep outside till the airport opens up again. I don't know, find a way. It's basically what they tell you. That's so cruel. Then on the way back, they basically put, like, a warning on my friend to basically say, like, she's danger, check her. So every time we went through TSA at another airport, they pulled her in the room with cops, checked her down, checked her bag, scanned her phone, did all of this stuff for no reason, y'all. No reason. They checked my boyfriend, literally dumped out the stuff in his bag, patted him down, patted his dreads down, saying that, why? Because he's black with tattoos? That he was that they were scared that he was going to bring in cocaine. Then they don't talk English. They talk Spanish. So everything that you do, they get over on you. If they know that you don't talk Spanish and they know that you're not from here, they get over on you. They look at it like, oh yeah, we about to get this money. Then they made my boyfriend miss the shuttle buses, y'all. When we were at first of all, I forgot to tell y'all. When we were literally at the rental car, returning our car, they kept talking on the speakers, making the shuttle buses go past us. We put our airports in this one shuttle bus.
Mexican man took all of our bags out, all of our luggage out the shuttle bus and pulled off on us. And we kept telling them that we were in an urgency to get to the airport. So if you're stuck in a situation like that, don't tell them, because then they do stuff to hold you back up so that you can stay in their country and spend more money and buy another ticket. They are all working together to get more money from tourists, and that is not okay. I understand that your country is kind of poor, but you do not get over on other people. It's simple.
I'm sorry, but why the are we taking taxes out of the paychecks of 15 to 17-year-olds when they are not allowed to vote? Is that not the definition of taxation without representation?
This is reason number one as to why you should always be very careful when inviting anyone into your home, even family. So for those of you guys who follow me on here, you already know that my father and I don't have the best relationship. Recently, I found out that he had a baby, so I reached out. We ended up reuniting. I met the baby and decided to invite them over to my house for dinner. Mind you, my home is extremely protected. So if anybody comes in with any type of negativity around them, they're not gonna feel well. So he comes over. The minute he walks in, he starts to become ill. He said he felt like he was gonna faint, that he didn't know what was going on. They ended up cutting their visit short and practically rushed out of the door. I didn't think much of it and just decided to go on with my day. The next day, which was on Sunday, I woke up in the worst possible mood. I couldn't understand why I was in such a bad mood. I had absolutely no reason to feel so angry, but something was just really bothering me. I decided to take the kids to go watch the new Spider-Man to kind of get my mind off of it. Once I left the house, I realized that I no longer felt like that anger. Like, it was gone and I felt fine. But the minute we went back home, I started to feel angry again. Decided to ignore it. I don't know why I keep ignoring things. Decided to ignore it, went about my day. That Monday I wake up, when I go downstairs, I notice that the house is dark. Like, there's this darkness around the house. My house is extremely light. My shades are always open. I don't like darkness. But again, busy with work, I kind of just get ready and go about my day. When I get home later on that day, the house has this weird, like, rotting smell. My kids can't smell it, but I can smell it, and it's bothering me. So I go around cleaning the house. I'm like bleaching, I'm scrubbing, I'm mopping. I'm like, where's that smell coming from? I even like deep clean the trash can, like in the inside, thinking maybe something spilled in there. I couldn't get the smell from like out of my nose. That night I go to bed and I end up waking up at exactly 3 a.m. So I'm like, fun, this is fun. I'm like getting chills even thinking about it. My mouth is so freaking dry. I go downstairs to get something to drink. When I go downstairs, I notice that the basement door is open. I never leave that door open. So I shut it, grabbed the water, and went back to my room. The minute I lay down, I'm paralyzed. This thing paralyzes me, and it shows itself. I'm like fighting back again. I'm not afraid of any of this stuff because I've been dealing with this stuff my whole life. So I'm pretty much laughing at it, telling it that it has no power, it needs to leave. I start to pray, and it's continuing to like hold me down. At one point, I'm able to break free and I like overpower this thing. I have one of those Stanley cups, the dupe, not the real one. I'm not spending $40 on a cup. Next to my nightstand, and I started to hit it in the head with it. Once I did this, it went away. I say my prayers and go to sleep. I wake up at about 6 a.m. and decide to go downstairs to get my coffee. When I go downstairs into the kitchen, I hear what sounds like something like fumbling in the basement, like something's falling over in the basement. And then I look and realize that the basement door is open.
You're quiet. Yeah. I'm trying to gauge how awkward and myself I can be in this new social situation. So I will be quiet until then. And then once I figure it out, you'll probably wish that I would go back to being quiet.
Okay, I just got into the algorithm of people sharing their kind of spooky, scary stories while hiking, or a lot of Appalachia stories. This is not Appalachia, but about 3 years ago near Idaho Springs, in, I want to say, February, March, maybe April. I'm somewhere in that time frame where there's still snow. My friend and I drove up to Hell's Hole Trail, and we couldn't get far because there was so much snow. We're in a Jeep. We park on the side. We're gonna snowshoe up and snowshoe as much of the trail as we could. And as we start to go up with 4 dogs, big dogs, we're walking up the trail and there is a pickup truck sideways blocking the road. And there's a man there clearly stuck in the snow. And we're like, okay, that happens. He's not afraid of the dogs. and the dogs are taught to ignore people unless like otherwise told. So the dogs kind of all surround him. We're like, everything okay? And he is wearing what looked to be like fishing waders around him, and then like a bright yellow shirt. Pickup truck plates, I want to say were, I'm gonna forget, but the plates did not match the place he told us he was from. It was a different state, and it was not Colorado. And we're on the trail, and he's like, yeah, my car's stuck. And we're like, I mean, we can try to help push it if you want. And there's like a kind of like a cliff edge and like trees on one side, and the rest is just gravel and covered in snow. So we tried to push it, my friend and I. Didn't get it very far. And so my friend's like, well, why don't I get in the front seat and I'll try to give it some gas, and you and my friend push. So she gets in the front seat, starts the car, we're pushing, makes it a little ways, stuck again. And we're like, you know what, sorry, like, we obviously can't help you. And he was like, oh, it's okay, I've been camping up there the last few days. My friend's still up there. Yeah, my friend Connor's still up there, and I was supposed to meet him. And we don't see any other cars. And also, you don't really camp at that time of the year when there's that much snow. I mean, you could, but it was odd. His trunk was filled with a bunch of stuff. He told us he had just gone to a storage unit, like, auction, and he didn't get much. We're like, okay. So he had told us that he tried to chop down a tree branch to use as, like, a lever system to get the truck out of the snow. And then as we're leaving, my friend was like, the axe was on the front seat, and I instinctively threw it in the back. And she saw like little bags of like what looked to be like women's jewelry, which would kind of match the storage unit situation, but not fully. And she saw a woman's bag and sunglasses or something, and he was by himself. Oh, I'm getting the chills. And so we walk away, and he gets out. The car gets out all of a sudden, and we were just like, something's off. Like, the hair on the back of our neck stood up. We're not that far from the car, so I'm like, I don't think we should go here. Like, he can drive now. So we book it back to the car, and he pulls over and stops us, and he's like, where are you going? I thought you were hiking this. And we were like, actually, too much snow, we're headed out. And he said, where are you going? We're like, don't know yet. Literally run to the car, lock the doors. Oh, he tries to give us these bags of like women's jewelry or whatever he had from the storage unit, and was like, here, like, for your help. And I was like, nope, don't want any of that. Get in the car, lock the doors, and he gets in front of us, and he's driving down the road, and we're going for like 5 minutes. We have no service, key parts. And we get halfway down the road. He is then kind of blocking the road, and he's outside of his car. And we get close, we don't even make eye contact, and just zoom around him. At one point we're like, fucking hit the car. Like, not that was the best idea, but like panicked. So then we're driving, and he drives again, and then we see him pulled over in like just like a little pull-out spot on the side of the road before you get to the town of Idaho Springs. Don't know how he got in front of us. There's not that many roads around there. And the second we get into service, we called the cops, and we were just like, gave the license plate, gave the spot he was parked at, told the situation. I was like, I don't know if he's hiding from something. I don't know if he has a friend up there, or what they did, or why he has all this stuff from the storage unit. But someone go check on this man. And they did. And I mean, we didn't get a like update or anything, but always still freaks me out. And this was, I think it was like February to April timeframe, 2022. So if anyone saw the same situation, let me know. It's fucking weird. Spooky story. Oh my god.
Not to be dramatic, but if I dropped dead tomorrow and woke up in hell, it would probably take me 2 to 3 full days to realize that I was not just in another HR-backed team building workshop with my coworkers.
No, stop. Let's have a real conversation. Imagine this. Imagine you telling yourself you're going to date safe. You're going to just, take your time, this, that, and the other. But then you meet somebody in close proximity around where you stay. And he's nice. He's cool. He's chill. He's just your type. But in the beginning, you give him no play because you're focused. You're minding your business. So every time he speaks, you just give him a light hey. And every time he tries to stop you and have a conversation, you're like, oh, I got to go. Because you really have to go. You're a busy person. So time goes on. You're bringing in the groceries, hypothetically. And he like, oh, you need help with that? You're like, no, sweets. Oh, I got it. You're like, no, let me help you with that. Like, stop. So you're like, okay, whatever. Let him in. All right, cool. And so as you stop to say thank you, he says, I've really been trying to get your attention, which you already know, but you're on your own zone. So you're like, I know, I'm just a busy woman. He's like, let me take you out, blah, blah, blah. And so you all get acquainted just a little bit. Y'all start to kick it a little bit. Like, he's cool. Nothing crazy. And so one day he says, you want to come over and watch a movie? We stay in close proximity. Why not? And you're like, you know what? Let me stop being so hard up. It's cool. Like, yeah, I'll do that. Y'all have hung out. Y'all have got to know each other. It's kind of cool. What if this happened to you? And let's just say as y'all were watching a movie, you're laying on his chest and you're just laying it. And he says in a real smooth way, so is that light you keep on your living room light or your bedroom light? So as you're laying there on his chest, you couldn't have possibly heard him correctly because you stay somewhere far, far off, secluded, even though it's in close proximity. So you say, what you say? And he says again, so is that light you keep on your living room light or your bedroom light? So now you laying on his chest thinking to yourself, how would anybody see that light? He said, look, as you're laying there on his chest, I've been watching you for a long time. What do you do? I've been liking you for a long time. Now this you know, but you don't know where it's gonna go next. And some days I see you leave out every day and I think to myself, if I ever had her, I would. And you waiting, but he doesn't say no more. Now as a woman, you're in a position where you cannot run, you cannot go anywhere. You're in their house, in their territory. So he continues. Yeah, I would see you sometimes with your dress on, going to stores and stuff. And you're thinking to yourself, how would you see me at the store? Around the way is cool, but at the store? And as you laying on his chest, he goes further and says, sometimes I would screenshot your toes on your Instagram because your toes, you always got them white. Oh, snap. Part two.